Koda's mother. In Disney's Brother Bear, released in November 2003, protagonist Kenai spends most of the film traveling alongside a cheerful bear cub named Koda, completely unaware of a devastating connection between them. After Kenai kills a bear to avenge his brother Sitka's death, the spirits transform him into a bear as punishment. During his journey to become human again, he meets Koda, who repeatedly mentions his missing mother and believes she'll meet them at the salmon run. Throughout the film, Koda's innocent optimism about seeing his mother again creates dramatic irony that audiences couldn't have predicted would lead to such a dark revelation. During story time at the salmon run, Koda tells a story about his mother fighting human hunters on a glacier. The details match exactly with Kenai's encounter that led to Sitka's death. In that heartbreaking moment, Kenai realizes the bear he killed was Koda's mother. He had been traveling with and bonding with the very cub he orphaned. Audiences never saw this coming because the film presented itself as a straightforward transformation story about learning empathy, not a tragic tale of accidental consequences. The twist transforms the entire narrative into an examination of responsibility and redemption that hit viewers far harder than expected. Stinky Pete. Toy Story 2, released in November 1999, introduced audiences to Stinky Pete the Prospector, who seemed like a wise, grandfatherly figure offering Woody guidance about his future. Voice actor Kelsey Grammer gave the character a gentle demeanor that masked his true intentions perfectly. Pete tells Woody about the benefits of going to the museum in Japan, painting himself as a mentor looking out for everyone's best interests. The twist comes when Pete reveals he's been manipulating Woody all along, sabotaging escape attempts to ensure they all end up in the museum together. His motivation stems from never being sold and spending decades in a box, never experiencing the joy of being played with by a child. This bitterness festered into selfishness, making him willing to trap his friends in a museum to avoid being stored away again. Audiences in 1999 weren't conditioned to expect friendly supporting characters to become antagonists, making Pete's betrayal genuinely surprising. This established the twist villain template that Disney would refine over the next decade, but at the time, it caught viewers completely off guard. Megara's Betrayal. Disney's Hercules, released in June 1997, presented Megara as a sarcastic damsel in distress who seemed like an unconventional but straightforward love interest for the hero. She keeps Hercules on his toes with her wit and sass, creating what appears to be a classic enemies-to-lovers dynamic. The film spends significant time building their relationship, with Meg teaching the naive hero about the complexities of the real world beyond his heroic training. Then the devastating truth emerges. Megara has been working for the villain Hades the entire time. Her soul belongs to him because she made a bargain to save a past boyfriend, who then abandoned her, leaving her heartbroken and trapped in Hades' service. Every seemingly chance encounter with Hercules was orchestrated manipulation, designed to discover his weakness. Audiences never expected Disney to make the romantic lead an active antagonist, because it violated the company's established formula. In 1997, Disney princesses and love interests were always purely good, making Meg's duplicity shocking. The twist worked because the film presented valid reasons for their meetings, while hiding the sinister orchestration behind them. Future Family. Meet the Robinsons, released in March 2007, follows young inventor Lewis as he meets Wilbur Robinson, a time traveler who takes him to the year 2037. The film plays as a straightforward time travel adventure with Lewis helping fix the timeline while spending time with the eccentric Robinson family. Lewis particularly connects with the family's patriarch, Cornelius Robinson, finding him inspiring and kind. The twist that audiences never saw coming is that Cornelius Robinson is actually adult Lewis from the future. Wilbur Robinson, the boy who brought him to the future, is his own son. Lewis had been interacting with his future self and his own child throughout the entire adventure without anyone realizing it. The reveal recontextualizes every interaction with the Robinson family, making viewers realize the emotional weight behind their acceptance and support of young Lewis. Contemporary reviews noted audiences found this impossible to predict because the film disguised the connection so thoroughly. The time travel mechanics were complex enough that viewers focused on the main plot rather than questioning family relationships, allowing the twist to land with maximum impact. Charles Muntz. Pixar's Up, released in May 2009, opens with young Carl Fredricksen idolizing famous explorer Charles Muntz, who appears in newsreels as a heroic adventurer. The film establishes Muntz as Carl's childhood inspiration, the reason he and Ellie dreamed of adventure together. 70 years later, when Carl finally reaches Paradise Falls in South America, he meets his hero face to face. Muntz initially appears welcoming and grandfatherly, inviting Carl and Russell to dinner aboard his massive dirigible. Voice actor Christopher Plummer imbues the character with charm and warmth that makes him feel safe. Then everything changes. Carl discovers Muntz's dirigible is filled with helmets and skeletons of previous explorers. The beloved childhood hero has spent 7 decades obsessively hunting a rare bird, murdering anyone who might find it first. At 92 years old, Muntz has become a paranoid serial killer driven mad by his need to restore his tarnished reputation. Audiences never saw this coming because the film spent its entire opening sequence establishing Muntz as heroic and aspirational. When viewers finally meet him alongside Carl, they share Carl's excitement, making the horrifying truth even more impactful. The twist works as both a plot surprise and a thematic warning about becoming trapped in the past. Lotso Bear. Toy Story 3, released in June 2010, introduces Lotso Bear as the seemingly benevolent leader of Sunnyside Daycare. The strawberry-scented pink teddy bear welcomes Andy's toys with warmth and promises of endless playtime with children who will never outgrow them. Voice actor Ned Beatty gives Lotso an initially gentle southern drawl that makes him feel trustworthy and fatherly. The twist reveals itself when Lotso assigns the new toys to the Caterpillar Room, where young toddlers destroy toys through rough play. Sunnyside isn't a paradise, but a prison, with Lotso ruling through manipulation and fear. His backstory explains that his original owner, Daisy, accidentally left him behind and replaced him with an identical Lotso Bear. That experience of being replaced convinced him all toys are eventually abandoned, making him bitter and cruel. What truly shocked audiences was not just that Lotso was evil, but how irredeemably evil he became. When Andy's toys save him from the incinerator, he repays them by leaving them to die. Director Lee Unkrich confirmed on the DVD commentary that test audiences wanted Lotso to redeem himself, but the creators felt it wouldn't work for his character. Audiences never expected the cute, huggable teddy bear to become one of Pixar's darkest villains, refusing any chance at redemption, even when offered. Hair Sacrifice. Disney's Tangled, released in November 2010, centers entirely around Rapunzel's 70 feet of magical hair with healing and anti-aging powers. The entire plot revolves around people pursuing Rapunzel for her hair's abilities, making it seem essential to any resolution. Near the climax, Flynn Rider lies mortally wounded, while Rapunzel promises to stay with Mother Gothel forever if she's allowed to heal him. The setup suggests the obvious solution of Rapunzel using her powers to save Flynn, even at great personal cost. Then Flynn does something audiences never expected. He grabs a shard of broken mirror and cuts off all of Rapunzel's hair in one swift stroke. This destroys her healing powers permanently and causes Gothel to rapidly age to death. The act appears to doom Flynn to die from his wounds, eliminating what seemed like the only solution to the problem. Audiences were completely floored because Disney had spent the entire film establishing Rapunzel's hair as the answer to every obstacle. The twist subverts the expected resolution by having the male lead actively destroy the protagonist's defining magical feature, seemingly ensuring both their deaths. The leftover magic in Rapunzel's tears ultimately saves Flynn, but that surprise comes after the initial shock of his sacrifice. Before we continue, if you're enjoying what you're watching, I create videos like this all the time. Subscribing would really help me out. King Candy. Wreck-It Ralph, released in November 2012, establishes early that going turbo is the worst thing a game character can do after an 8-bit racer named Turbo invaded another game out of jealousy, getting both games unplugged. The film treats this as ancient history from before 1997. King Candy appears as the eccentric, Mad Hatter-inspired ruler of Sugar Rush racing game, voiced by Alan Tudyk, doing a deliberate Ed Wynn impression requested by Disney. King Candy manipulates Ralph into destroying Vanellope's cart by claiming she's a glitch who will get the game unplugged if she races. During the climactic race, Vanellope's glitching causes King Candy's appearance to spaz out, revealing his true form. He's Turbo, the legendary villain everyone thought died when his game was unplugged over 15 years ago. Turbo had hacked into Sugar Rush's code, deleted everyone's memories, installed himself as King Candy, and deliberately turned Vanellope into a glitch so he could rule. Audiences never saw this coming despite the foreshadowing, because the film presented King Candy and Turbo as completely separate entities from different time periods. The reveal that the friendly-seeming ruler was actually the cautionary tale villain everyone had been warning about created genuine shock. Many viewers had the same reaction as Ralph, literally saying, "No way," when the truth emerged. Prince Hans. Frozen, released in November 2013, presents Prince Hans of the Southern Isles as Anna's charming love interest from the moment they meet on Coronation Day. They share the romantic duet, "Love is an Open Door," establishing what appears to be true love at first sight. Hans proposes after knowing Anna for only one day, and she accepts enthusiastically. Throughout the film, Hans appears heroic, distributing aid to Arendelle's citizens during Elsa's freeze, and seeming genuinely concerned for Anna's well-being. When Anna returns dying from Elsa's frozen heart curse, everyone expects the obvious resolution of true love's kiss. Instead, Hans refuses to kiss her, and reveals he never loved her at all. He only courted her to position himself to inherit Arendelle's throne. As the youngest of 13 brothers with no chance of inheriting his own kingdom, his plan was to marry Anna, have Elsa executed as a monster, and become king himself. Voice actor Santino Fontana maintained the charm right until the reveal, giving no indication of deception. Audiences never saw this coming, because Hans showed no suspicious behavior throughout the film, and Disney had conditioned viewers to trust handsome princes. The twist became one of Disney's most controversial, because many felt it lacked foreshadowing, though defenders argue it teaches children about manipulation and rushing into relationships. Professor Callaghan. Big Hero 6, released in November 2014, begins with the death of Hero's brother Tadashi in an explosion at the San Francisco Institute of Technology. The mysterious villain Yokai appears wearing a kabuki mask, using stolen microbots to attack the city. Hero and his team initially suspect businessman Alistair Cray, who wanted to buy the microbots at the showcase. During a confrontation, the team removes Yokai's mask to reveal Professor Robert Callaghan, Tadashi's mentor, who everyone thought died in the explosion. Callaghan used Hero's microbots to shield himself from the fire and escape. His motivation stems from revenge against Cray for a failed teleportation experiment that apparently killed Callaghan's daughter, Abigail. What devastates Hero most is Callaghan's cold response when confronted about Tadashi's death. He dismisses it by saying, "That was his mistake," showing no remorse for the young man who died trying to save him. While some viewers predicted Callaghan was Yokai due to process of elimination, audiences never expected the emotional gut punch of his complete indifference to Tadashi's sacrifice. The twist works not through surprising identity, but through the heartbreaking realization that Hero's brother died saving someone who didn't care. Dawn Bellwether. Zootopia, released in March 2016, presents Assistant Mayor Dawn Bellwether as a timid sheep who appears to be another victim of discrimination. She's overworked by Mayor Lionheart and seems genuinely sympathetic to protagonist Judy Hopps' struggles as a small prey animal in law enforcement. Bellwether helps Judy with her investigation into missing predators, appearing to be a helpful ally throughout the mystery. The twist reveals Bellwether orchestrated the entire savage predator conspiracy. She dosed predators with night howler serum to make them go feral, planning to turn prey animals against predators to create a prey-dominant society with herself in power. The film includes a double twist, when Judy and Nick trick Bellwether into confessing while being recorded. Nick pretends to go savage after being hit with night howler serum, creating genuine tension before revealing it was an act to capture her confession. Audiences never saw this coming because Bellwether was positioned as another victim of the system rather than someone weaponizing prejudice for personal gain. The mystery structure meant viewers suspected various characters, but Bellwether's timid demeanor and apparent powerlessness made her seem like the least likely suspect. Ernesto's Crime. Coco, released in November 2017, follows Miguel as he believes legendary musician Ernesto de la Cruz is his great-great-grandfather. In the land of the dead, Miguel meets struggling musician Héctor, who claims he was de la Cruz's partner. When Miguel finally meets de la Cruz, the famous musician appears welcoming and gracious, reinforcing Miguel's hero worship. The devastating twist unfolds during a conversation about Héctor wanting to go home to his daughter. Miguel notices that dialogue from one of de la Cruz's films mirrors what Héctor says about moving heaven and earth for friendship. In the film, the villain poisons his friend while saying this exact phrase. Héctor suddenly realizes the truth. De la Cruz poisoned him to steal his songs and guitar. Every famous song attributed to de la Cruz, including Remember Me, was actually written by Héctor. The man Miguel idolized as his great-great-grandfather is actually a murderer, while Héctor, his actual great-great-grandfather, has been beside him all along. Audiences never expected this darkness from a Pixar film about family and music. The reveal that De La Cruz literally reenacted his crime in his own movie adds a chilling layer, suggesting he felt no remorse for the cold-blooded, premeditated murder of his best friend. Dragon form. Sleeping Beauty, released in January 1959, featured Disney's original surprise villain transformation decades before it became a trend. Maleficent appears as a powerful fairy throughout most of the film, establishing herself as the primary antagonist from Aurora's christening. During the climax, Prince Philip faces Maleficent outside King Stephen's castle, preparing for a confrontation. Maleficent declares herself mistress of all evil and summons a column of green fire. In that moment, she transforms into a massive dragon, displaying shape-shifting abilities audiences didn't know she possessed. The sudden escalation of power and the dramatic visual transformation shocked 1959 audiences who had no foreknowledge of this capability. While modern viewers know about Maleficent's dragon form through decades of merchandise and references, original audiences experienced genuine surprise at this climactic reveal. This transformation established the template for Disney's later villain escalations, proving that even antagonists who seem maximally powerful can become more threatening through unexpected abilities. The dragon design became one of Disney's most iconic villain forms, cementing this twist as influential on animation history. Gurgi's Sacrifice. The Black Cauldron, released in July 1985, features Gurgi as the film's comic relief, a small, mischievous creature who provides lighthearted moments throughout the dark story. Near the climax, someone must throw themselves into the Black Cauldron to stop the Horned King's undead army from destroying everything. Protagonist Taran attempts to sacrifice himself, preparing to give his life to save everyone. Gurgi stops him, starting that Taran has friends while Gurgi has none, expressing his belief that nobody would miss him. Before anyone can react, Gurgi throws himself into the cauldron, dying to save his friends. The sacrifice causes the Horned King's army to collapse immediately. Audiences never expected the sacrifice to come from the comic relief character because Disney typically protected such characters from serious consequences. Comic relief existed to lighten the mood, not to provide emotional devastation through noble death. While Gurgi is later revived by the witches, the sacrifice scene itself carried genuine emotional weight that caught viewers off guard. The twist worked by subverting the expected hero sacrifice with an unexpected one from the character who seemed least likely to make such a choice. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing so you never miss new content. Thanks for watching.